All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to break down a really intense take on what it means to be a man today. The source material claims that for the guys at the very, very top, life is amazing. But for pretty much everyone else, it's a real grind. So what's the difference? What really separates them? We're going to dig into the 5 core traits that, according to this view, define a top 1% man. Wow. Okay, so right out of the gate, the stakes are set incredibly high, right? This is designed to be a gut punch. The whole point is to hammer home a core belief. Inaction has real, painful consequences. If you're just standing still, you're not just standing still. You're actively losing to someone else who's putting in the work. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the big picture, this idea of life as a competition. Then we'll tackle a huge myth about being high value. After that, we're diving straight into the traits, building the inner man, mastering the outer world, and we'll wrap it all up with the power of a network. All right, part 1. The whole foundation of this mindset is that life, especially for men, is basically one giant competition. It's a zero-sum game, which means if someone wins, someone else has to lose. So you can see why sitting on the sidelines just isn't an option here.
You know, the easiest way to think about this is like a video game. You spawn in at level 0 with absolutely nothing, and every single day you've got a choice. Do you grind and level up your skills, your wealth, your character, or do you just hang out in the starting zone? The warning here is pretty stark. If you're not leveling up, somebody else is, and they're the ones who are going to get the loot, the rewards, and the opportunities that could have been yours. Okay, so that brings us to the next big piece of this puzzle, the high-value myth. You hear that term everywhere, right? High-value man. Well, the argument we're looking at here says that most people get it totally, completely wrong. They're all chasing the glitter, not the gold. So think about the usual checklist. Tons of money, a six-pack, being popular. Well, according to this, that's not the finish line. That's not even the race. That's just the price of admission. It's the entry fee just to get in the room. If that's all you have, they're just crutches, you know? A good-looking shell with nothing real inside. And here's a story that really drives this point home. The guy behind this whole philosophy, he talks about being a multimillionaire at just 19 years old. I mean, he had it all, right? The money, the lifestyle, everything everyone's chasing. But he said deep down, he knew he wasn't that guy. He felt like it was all a costume, like a kid playing dress-up, because he hadn't built the man on the inside to match the success on the outside. And that's the perfect lead-in to the first couple of traits. This is where the real work begins. We're talking about forging the inner man. It's not about what's in your bank account. It's about what's left when you've got absolutely nothing. So trait number 1 is simple, but it is not easy. Remove your crutches. And it comes with a really powerful question you have to ask yourself. If you woke up tomorrow and your money was gone, your great body was gone, your social status vanished, who are you? What's left? The idea is that a man at this level has built such a rock-solid core that all that other stuff is just extra. It's a bonus, not the foundation of who he is. This flows right into the second trait, which is all about understanding the timeline. Look, this isn't a weekend seminar or a 30-day challenge. It's a long journey. You start by doing the things, making the money, getting in shape, but then comes the really hard part, integrating it all. It takes years for that success to become part of you, and only then, way down the line, do you finally become that person authentically, from the inside out. And we're not talking about a little bit of time here. We're talking 5 years minimum, maybe even 7 or 10 years. This is a long-haul commitment. It's about a deep, slow process of confronting all your baggage, your insecurities, your past, and building something truly solid on top of it. All right, so once that internal work is underway, the focus shifts outward. It's time to master the external world. Let's get into the next 2 traits. Trait number 3 is what's called true freedom. And this is super specific. It's not just about having a fat bank account. Think of it like a 3-legged stool. You've got financial freedom, sure, but you also need location freedom, the ability to be anywhere you want. And crucially, time freedom, where you control your own damn schedule. Because think about it. If you're making millions, but you're chained to a desk you despise, are you really free? So how do you get this freedom? Well, here's a really important distinction. Forget passive income. This perspective says that's a total myth. Nothing is truly passive. Everything needs some work. The real key is leveraged income. That's where you build systems, you build a team, and they work for you. It's about multiplying your own efforts, so you're not trading your time for money anymore. That's the secret sauce to getting your time and location back. Now, trait number 4. This one hits different. It's a question you're supposed to ask yourself in the mirror every single day. Would I follow this man into war? I mean, just let that sink in. It's the ultimate test, isn't it? It's about your core character, your resilience, your leadership. When the chips are down, are you the person people can really count on? And you don't build that kind of strength by having an easy life. It has to be forged in fire. Sometimes life throws that fire at you. But, and this is the key part, if life isn't testing you, you have to go out and find the fire yourself. You have to force adversity on yourself, like running a marathon with zero training or getting into a boxing ring. You deliberately pick a hard path to prove to yourself that you won't break.
Okay, we've covered the inner man and the outer world. That brings us to the 5th and final trait. This is the piece that sits on top of everything else, the one that completes the entire picture. And the order of operations here is absolutely crucial. This is about your network, but it's not what you think. You don't start by networking. You don't go chasing after important people. Nope. You spend all those years we talked about becoming so damn good, so capable, so valuable, that the network comes to you. You attract your peers. It's something you earn, not something you beg for. And this is why it's the final piece, because a network like that gives you a kind of power that you literally cannot buy. It's the ability to make one phone call and solve a problem that would crush anyone else. It's about being able to truly protect your family and friends. And it's knowing that if someone does you wrong, there will be consequences. This is presented as the ultimate ace up your sleeve. Real power in the real world. So, let's bring it all home. What's the one big idea to walk away with? It's this. A top 1% man is defined by who he is, not what he has. All the flashy stuff, the money, the cars, the status, that's just the side effect. The real prize is the internal character, the resilience, and the freedom that you forge through years and years of hard work. And that really just leaves one final thought, a question that turns this whole thing back on you. If it's true that real strength only comes from walking through fire, then the question isn't if you'll face the fire. The question is, what fire will you choose to walk through?